Hey guys!
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Today guys, we'll be taking you through the top 10 most common mistakes that could be sabotaging your progress in the gym.
Yeah, so these are kind of from our own personal experience, from what we've watched other people typically do, and just, yeah, we thought we'd share those things with you so
to give you guys a different perspective.
And so you don't make the same mistakes because, you know, nobody wants to be doing that.
So if we can give you guys tips and tricks to make no mistakes or to eliminate the chances, then your progress will be much better or quicker than ours will.
Quicker. You're going to reach your goals a bit quicker. So let's get into the video.
Tick, 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 tick. Mistake number 1. Not having a well-rounded program, including all the muscle groups.
When you're neglecting a certain muscle group, or, you know, just for example not training your legs or not training your upper body, say I see a lot of girls doing that, you're actually going to create a lot of imbalance within your body and your muscle tone. So it could be a case of you wanting to do that because that's your physical aesthetic that you want to achieve, but in terms of functionality and how it's actually going to coincide with your performance at the gym, when you're training, say you always train upper body and you're a male and you do a lot of back, so your back's nice and strong, but then your hamstrings and glutes have like no strength, they're super weak. When you do a deadlift where it actually involves the whole posterior chain, you're definitely not going to lift as much or as, you know, efficiently as you would be if you've trained that whole posterior chain, not just your back. So yeah, all those muscles work together, especially for the compound movements like a deadlift.
So on top of all that, so what you want to break it down to when you train is, for example, you could have 3 training days, so upper body, lower body and a full body session. So that way if you're consistent, you're still getting, if you miss a session, a full body session in, or lower body session in, or you might miss a full body session, so you got upper and lower. If you break it down into simple terms like that, your training program should be a lot easier to follow.
Yeah, so basically if you miss one of those days, it's not going to impact your progress as much as if you say only had one leg day a week and you keep missing that leg day, you know, coincidentally or because you don't want to do it, then you're just never going to train legs. But if you break it up into like smaller days and stuff that's a little bit more manageable, then you're more likely to make sure your program is more well-rounded. So mistake number 2 is avoiding certain exercises because you either don't like them or you just physically can't do them, or you believe you can't do them.
So that's like if you don't like pull-ups. Everyone hates pull-ups because they're hard. But generally pull-ups are the best things for yourself to get a stronger back, which is an all-round strength exercise to get better in the gym, so physically and mentally. Not doing exercise you don't like it's like anything in life. If you don't do something that you're bad at to get better at, say your job or personal development with your mental health, you're never going to improve. So it's like when I've always disliked front squats. I'm sure a lot of people do because I just don't like the load on my front. I don't like it on my shoulders, and I'd much prefer a back squat. However, recently it came up in my program and I can barely lift anything on a front squat, like legit less than half of what I can on a normal squat, but like that does not matter. You just gotta at least try and do it, and just you don't have to love it, but just like you're missing out on certain like movement patterns and benefits of certain exercises by just not doing them all together. Like, you know, you just gotta think of the end goal.
Yeah, because obviously do stuff that you enjoy, but then you also need to do stuff you don't enjoy so much. That's just like everything else in life.
Mistake number 3. Prioritizing how heavy you're lifting rather than focusing on your form and technique.
So this is very common, just like a general gym where
General meatheads.
you'll see a guy rock up and he's just lifting anything for the sake of it, and like he's just focused on looking how he looks to everyone else or how strong he looks to other males or females if he's trying to impress them. And yeah, you're just not going to be getting the same benefits from doing half reps or just not doing an exercise properly.
Alright guys, so we're going to take you through a exercise which going to give you a tip or 2 or 3 on a technique to improve your bench press. So guys, what you'll see in the gym generally from the Gen Pop is a flat bench press, a young girl or male just laying flat. So what that means, the back's flat, they've got the 2 dumbbells, dummies, mama. So they'll lift up, just throw meaninglessly heavy weights around, and they'll do quarter reps, half reps. They might be waving around all over the place. And eventually, like, don't get me wrong, it's good to lift heavy weights, but there's no point if you've got shit technique. So to fix this technique, what you want to try and do, guys, is you're going to set up like this, guys. So create a lower, big arc in your back, so the top of your shoulder blades are on the bench. Pushing your feet into the ground. So, get your training partner to give you your dumbbells. Lifting up, so you might help her up. Okay, so what you want to do is, from the start, breathing through nasal, through nose, pretending like you're filling up a water bottle from the bottom to the top, till you reach your throat. Feel the lats activating. Big breath in, down we go, control, full range, pushing all the way up, locking, squeezing. Big breath, lock it again, all the way down, pushing up, squeezing. Big breath in, through the nose, up. And make sure you're going to breathe all the way in first, guys. Before you go down, pressing up, push your feet into the ground. So you want to think of it as a big kinetic chain, which becomes one big group exercise to get stronger, pushing up. Thanks, Isabella.
No worries.
So there's a quick tip or 2 just to fix your bench press, guys. So make sure we are focusing, or you must educate yourself on these exercises that you do. Because end of the day, you're just neglecting your progress in the gym if you don't educate yourself on how to lift. Because you'd rather do a proper technique and improve on something and get quicker results in, say, 2 months, rather than not doing it and get the same results that would take you 10 months.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to do something, like, that's fine, but seek help from a professional or someone else. Just don't be shy to ask people, because it's better than building movement patterns and habits that aren't going to help you, and you're going to just adapt that, and that's going to become how you normally do that lift. Okay, so mistake number 4 is neglecting educating yourself on nutrition. So this is probably one of the biggest things, like the most important things that you need to do if you are serious about going to the gym. Like, there's no point going into the gym 5 days a week but then eating terribly, not even giving it a thought, and just, you know, hoping that the
it's like going to the gym and leaving the gym post-workout and going to get Macca's.
Yeah, so many
like,
people
what the fuck?
do that. So many people do that.
KFC, bucket of chicken,
As
protein,
a
bro.
reward. Like, you shouldn't be working out to reward yourself with bad food, because like that's just it's not a good mentality. And yeah, I think just go back to the basics, educate yourself, and even do your own research into macronutrients, micronutrients, what your body needs, and then I guess just go from there and see how you can, you know, eat to fuel your body, not just relying on the gym. Because yes, the gym's part of it, and doing like working out a lot is going to help you, but if your food's all over the place, you're not going to reach whatever goal.
Yeah, you want to think of nutrient dense based foods. Yeah. Like, if you educate yourself on macros and micronutrients, you can reward yourself. You can eat Macca's, but you got to think, if you say have 2,000 calories and you eat Macca's, that could be 1,200 calories, and it could be all your macros. and you've only got 800 to play with. Where if you have nutrient-dense
Yeah.
foods, you can have 5 meals and it'll be the same as that 1200 calories, and you've got more energy.
Yeah, and you've got all the other macronutrients that are going to help so many other functions in your body rather than just weight loss or putting on muscle. So yeah, that's definitely like very important when
Can't
you are
out-train a
serious.
bad diet.
Yeah, you can't out-train a bad diet. We've all heard that before.
No. Mistake number 5. Ding. Not changing up your routine every 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, so with this one, the principle is called progressive overload, and what that means is that you need to progressively change a certain variable within your training. So this could be the intensity of your training, so the amount of sets, the amount of reps, the weight obviously is a big one, and also it can be things like tempo, like slowing down the tempo. So you've got to think of it this way. When your body detects a change, such as, you know, increasing your weight, it'll shock the body, but then afterwards it will adapt. So if your body's just adapted to something and you're still just using that stimulus, it's going to come to a point where you're going to plateau and you're not just going to keep progressing in that linear way. So you need to keep experimenting and changing different variables to actually get those results.
Yeah, exactly. So, top of that, you want to think of the mental side of things of training too. So, you want to train smarter, not just harder. So, you could work at a range. 1 week could be an RPE scale of 6. So, RPE scales is pretty easy to follow if you just do some research. So, RPE scale of 6 would normally mean, to break it down, have 5 reps left in reserve if you say do 10 reps. Then the next week you might have RPE scale of 7, so you'll have 3 reps left in reserve. Then the third week could be 8 or 9, so 2 to 1 reps. Then you might train for an extra week, and so the fourth week could be right on, say, 9, 10. Then you break it down the fifth or fourth week, whatever you want to have a deload week. Same reps, or same sets, but the RPE scale would be 5. So you're sort of tricking your mind psychologically that you're resting during that week.
Yeah.
And when you come to the new block of training, do the same thing, but you might change the stimulus of your training. So you might go from front squat, 1 block, then you might go into pause front squats or back squats next block.
And that's also why, like, you need to follow a program. Like, I don't know, some people will ask me, do I just go into the gym and do whatever? Do I know what to do? Or do I actually follow something? Like, you need to follow a program. Even if it's like basic and simple, you still need to be able to track like where you're heading with all that stuff. You can't really just go into the gym, pick up a few weights, and you know, you're going to get results initially when you first start training, because the training will be the new stimulus. But
that end goal.
It's not gonna last. So you definitely need to be following a program at least.
Have some sort of plan.
Yeah, have a plan. So mistake number 6 is being impatient with your progress or results.
So that comes down to trusting the process, guys, in your coach or the training end goal that you have. So it might be 5 kilo weight loss in 2 months, or it could be increase your back squat by 5 kilos in 2 months.
It can be anything, but you just need to think. Consistency is the key, and nothing, like, there's no magic pill, there's no like secrets that people aren't telling you. All the
Just basic shit, guys.
are literally just, they've achieved what they've achieved with their body through consistency. And yeah, it's just like, it's going to take a long time. You can't be expecting to train in the gym for 3 months and look how someone else has in 5 years.
Your health and fitness, guys, is a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
It's not a quick fucking fix.
It's not like a diet, it's a lifestyle, and it's, you know, it needs to be maintainable. Otherwise, you're just, yeah, it's just going to be like a cycle of following something, not following something, and then just, yeah, it's just not very healthy.
Yeah, you think of, guys, you're not going to always feel 100% in the gym.
Yeah.
So it's all about just moving. Look at the end goal, auto-regulate. So auto-regulating means how you feel on the day. You might feel 100%, say Monday. you go into your squats or push day, whatever it is, and you smash it. Next day you might feel fucking shit ass. So you look at what you did the week before, on say the Tuesday, and you break it down, work on that target, but just break it down a bit. Just as long as you're moving, guys, doing something to better yourself for the day, then it's always a win. So guys, number 7, overtraining.
Okay, so this is a pretty big one that a lot of people, there's a misconception about, you know, needing to train every day or even 6 days a week. You need to find what works for you, because we all need at least one rest day, like a minimum. Like I usually have 2 rest days. So do you do like 2 rest days?
Yeah, it depends on, obviously, like I said, the goal.
Depends on how you feel. And it can have some effects on you mentally, but it can also have a lot of effects on you physically. When your muscles are breaking down from all that weight training, they're just not going to be able to regenerate as quickly, so they're just constantly going to be damaged, and you're going to feel like you can't use them to their optimal extent. And additionally, there's corticosteroids. So these are stress hormones in your body that are released from working out, and if they're too high in your body, you're actually going to get the opposite effect of what you want to achieve. So it's just going to actually restrict your process. It's going to restrict your progress.
You want to focus
and you want to get those like stresses reduced in your body, definitely, no matter what you want to achieve. Even if you're not trying to achieve weight loss, like it's not a good thing to have like an increased amount of those corticosteroids. And also obviously glycogen depletion, because you're not going to have that fuel stored in your muscles. So even if you are eating carbs and everything, you're going to be burning that off quite quickly, and it does take some time to, you know, regenerate that in your body to convert it to glycogen. And yeah, so that's how you're going to run off your energy, and if that's not there, then you're not going to have any energy.
You have to focus on recovery, guys. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing I've learned over the years. Like, you train and train and train, 3 weeks on, and you just flat out. One day, the next day, just all of a sudden you could be just fucking just dead. Then you just try to push through, and that's when injuries happen. You might do your back muscle. Just a slight, like, non-focus on your technique when you do a squat can, you know, harpen your progress for 6 months. Where if you should have listened to your body and said, fuck, I just need a rest. Have a day off, just do something that's not in the gym.
Exactly.
Then the next day you're feeling $100 again. 100% again.
There's no point going those few extra days if it's going to cost you not being able to move or do anything for like 3 weeks.
There's nothing worse than not being able to do anything because you fucked up.
Exactly. And just swap out that high intense training for walks, yoga, anything that's going to like restore all those things in your body and just help you feel a bit more like grounded and like you are ready for when you do go back into the gym. Mistake number 8 is relying too heavily on just machines rather than free weights.
Ooh, machines. I am a machine. So obviously, guys, machines are good, don't get me wrong, but there's a time and place for them. So you want to focus on free weights. Because with free weights, like dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, anything that's not a machine, so you can focus more on technique. That will allow you to use your stabilizer muscles, get your tendons stronger, learn how to breathe into those muscles. Rather than if you're on a machine, you've only got certain areas where you can fix those positions.
It's machines are good for isolation, and that's what they do. They isolate the muscles. So for example, with a bicep curl, if you're doing it on a machine, you've got that support underneath and you're just contracting your bicep. Whereas if you're standing doing it, you're going to be activating your lower back muscles, your abs, your back, like your lat muscles, literally everything that you're going to be activating to do that curl is going to be so much more beneficial for your body. So yeah, use a mixture of machines and free weights, but just know that like they're called, you know, they're for isolation of the muscle for a reason. So don't solely go to those machines and think that that's where the bulk of your workout should be, because they should not.
Yeah.
Sorry if the lighting's changed, by the way. The sun goes down really early now. It's very depressing.
Mistake number 9. Boop. So not breathing properly at all, guys. That is before the session, during the session, during your weightlifting movement.
Or just not breathing properly. Like trying to breathe but you just have not been educated, or you've got just no idea, which used to be me.
Because everyone thinks they can breathe. Like, you ask them, are you breathing properly? Yeah, fucking oath I am. Show.
I know them.
And look, so when they explain to me what they're breathing like, this is how they do it. See the chest, it's just moving. So that's shallow breathing. So with shallow breathing, guys, it creates a lot of tension to the upper back, the traps, lower back, down in your butt, everywhere. So you want to think of diaphragmatic breathing, guys. So with your diaphragm, it just sits on the here, and your ribs, right under your boobs. So when you're breathing in, it's like expanding. So
make yourself look pregnant.
Exactly. So blow it up like a balloon, so that expands, pushes all your organs around, limbers you right up to your muscles. That's why meditation is such a powerful exercise and disciplinary exercise for your mental state to get better with your breathing.
Yeah, so basically, like, if you're not breathing properly while you're lifting, it's going to cause so many issues for you in the gym and just in daily life, because if you are not breathing through your diaphragm, especially when you're lifting, say for example a back squat where you've got a super heavy bar on your weight, when you've got a super heavy weight on your back, you need to be stable throughout your whole torso. If your abs aren't turned on and your back muscles aren't activated, then like you're just gonna flop. Like, you need to be able to support that weight, and by breathing like that, it's increasing the intra-abdominal pressure, and that in turn is going to stabilize everything because it's holding it tight, rather than just being flimsy and floppy and just, you know, it's just not safe. You could do a really bad back injury. You could just get really weak abdominals from that. And then also, I think when I learned how to breathe properly, I used to have always like tight traps. I still do have tight traps.
I'm trying to lift
but like
80 to 90 kilos. And don't get me wrong, she could do it, but
I wasn't
there was no full
properly.
control.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to take you through 2 exercises. So I'm going to go through a front-loaded plate squat, which will show you how you create that intra-abdominal pressure.
Yeah.
Then we'll go through a 90-90 hip lift breathing exercise.
We'll go through something you can do beforehand. Jack's going to be doing just a normal front-plated squat, and we're just going to look at his form when he's not breathing properly. So just, you know, flop down and up. Oh, my head's so exaggerated. Okay, so you're going to have like so many different ways that people do this squat, and like it probably won't look that bad. That's the thing, like it might not even look that bad, so you wouldn't even notice if people are breathing properly or not. But we'll see the difference when he takes a deep breath out. Takes a deep breath in, tension, and then when he goes down, and then up, it's very stable. Like, there's a huge difference. Like, he's not rigid, but he's not going to, like, the weight isn't going to impact his movement or his back or just cause any sort of strain, which is like what we want to avoid with those things. And that was just a plate. So imagine an actual bar on your back, which is
you could use that
a lot heavier.
That exercise that I just did as a warm-up. So you might do 2-3 sets of 5 reps. So that's going to teach, or get your mind back into the motor control of the movement before you go into your heavy lift.
So when you go into your heavy lift, you know exactly how it's going to feel, and you've got that kind of like mind-muscle connection.
Alright guys, so the second exercise we're going to do is a 90-90 hip lift. So you want to find a bench, like so, And you'll need a roller, or you might use a water bottle. So here today we've got a rolled up jean.
Baggy jeans.
Baggy jeans! Get jiggy with it. So guys, you'll need this in between your knees. Only give it a 70% squeeze. And not fully hard squeeze, just enough so it creates some tension on your hammies. And what you'll do is you'll lift off the ground, say 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter, which is allowing your hamstrings to engage. So you want to do this before your, say, training program, or you can practice at home. So what this is going to do, it's going to activate your core, activate your TVA muscles, so your pelvic floor muscles. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, all the way in. See how it's blowing up like a balloon here? Big breath, then all the way out. All the way out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. So that's going to allow the activation, the hammies to grab. Big breath in again. Pull it all the way out. Then all the way out. All the way out, all the way out, all the way out. You'll do one more. You'll do 5 deep breaths, guys. And all the way out. So you can feel that in your hammies, pal. So you should instantly, within the first 2 breaths, feel in your hammies. So that's in turn going to activate the glutes. So it becomes one big kinetic chain. So you'll do 2-3 sets before a workout. Then you go into your warm-ups or whatever you need to do. When you breathe, guys, just remember, breathe in for 3 to 4 seconds and out for 4 seconds. Whatever it is you're breathing in for.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to talk about, so mistake number 10, is your perspective in the gym. So
that's like managing expectations as well.
Yeah, managing expectations. So the mistake would be to not respect everyone in the gym and what their goals are. Obviously, we're not going to have the same goals, not necessarily like me and someone else my age, or just literally anyone in the gym. You don't walk into a gym and just judge everyone in there and think, oh my god, they're not doing this properly, oh my god, look at, like, don't do that, because we've all started somewhere, and you just remember, like, when you first went to the gym, how, like, scary it is, and to feel like people are watching you. So, like,
there's always
please don't do that.
One common goal with everyone is just to get better.
Yeah, in whatever aspect they want to improve on. So it doesn't have to be always physical. Like, yes, a lot of people do go to the gym to look better, so they do feel better, but, like, that is not the sole purpose of training.
People ask me, do you fucking cringe every time you go into a gym and you see someone lifting a shit technique? It's like, what I've learned over a couple of years is, well, fuck no, because you don't know their end goal. So Bob over there in the right corner could be aimlessly swinging his dumbbells around like this, and just looks like shit. But I don't know what his goal is, why he's doing it for.
Exactly.
Like, he could be like just coming into the gym to keep off the streets so he doesn't murder people. Who knows?
Exactly, you don't know these things.
I'd rather him in the gym doing that than me walking to the gym that killed me.
You can't you can't just assume people's intentions, and I know that is a little bit contradictory, because, you know, this whole video we've talked about technique and nutrition and all those sort of things, but, like, I think you've just got to remember that if that's the path you're on, then, like, yeah, they're the mistakes that you need to not be making. But if and even if you are in that position, like, do not think that everyone has to be. Do not think that everyone else has to be. Like, just focus on yourself and just try and make the gym a good place for everyone, so people do feel welcome.
That comes to my managing expectations, guys. So, like, people might not be qualified to give you nutrition advice, but if we could give you advice on, like, tips to get, like, be better on those nutrition things, or weightlifting, anything like that, that should give you a push in the right direction to go see a professional. Yeah, and of course it comes to, like, everyone having their own decisions at the end of the day. Like, you lead a horse to water, but they won't drink it. Yeah, and of course, like, if they're your client, you're aware of their goals, you know. You do everything you can to help them, and you kind of know where they're at, but, like, you don't know where everyone else is at. So yeah, you just need to always be aware of that kind of stuff, and just, yeah, make sure
you're not focusing on everyone else. Like, you're in the gym for you, and just, yeah, keep that mentality. So yeah, I think that concludes the video.
That does conclude the video,
I
guys.
hope you've enjoyed today.
It's been fun.
A little bit
Bit
more
of
of an
different
informative one.
something. There's that little setup. Looks pretty sick.
Yeah, so we've actually got, this is my little gym. Well, it's
Our
an
gym's on the
empty
move.
one. We're actually back in isolation. Jack's still got work, but because I'm on uni holidays, I don't have work or uni or
Isolated.
anything.
You're gonna lose herself.
So,
She already lost herself. Help her, please. Help us on its way.
yeah, we made this like really sick gym. We've actually got a proper barbell this time, so like it's way better than when we had our just garage gym, because it's getting so
It was
cold
so
now.
cold, man. It was
So
like,
cold. So now I'm like kind of super happy, so I can just come in here every morning and I can continue training.
not for long though.
Hopefully not for long though. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, guys. Peace and pout. Don't shout.
Bye.